This is a short story about how a spirit showed up in our house one day. I have many, many stories, which I've included so many in my book that I've just finished, but I thought I'd like to share this particular one with you. It goes back to when my third son was around about the age of 18. I had all the boys living at home, and he was living at our place with his girlfriend, was basically living with us as well because she was there most nights. So we had this house where from my bedroom, the way my bed was positioned, I could my where my head was, I could look up and I could look right down the passageway and see all the bedroom doors coming off the passageway. So if any of my kids got up in the middle of the night and walked down the passage, I could just lift my head off the pillow and I could see who was coming down the passage. And so this particular night, um, my son, I think he was about 18, he had the very end bedroom at the end of the passage. And must have been sort of like 2 o'clock in the morning. He'd got up to get a drink. So he opened his door, and because I was a light sleeper with, I had a husband next to me that was snoring his head off and 5 kids in the house. I always slept very light in case anybody was waking up. So I heard their door open and I saw my son coming down the passage, and I saw his girlfriend following him. And then I saw this other guy who looked around about the same age. And as a motherly instinct, I'd just woken up, I'd look down the passage and I see 3 of them coming out of the bedroom. And I'm like, why is there 3 of them in there? Like, what are they doing in there with 3 in there? Something's not right here. So as they got to the middle of the passageway, where the entrance that went through to the kitchen, I saw my son walk through and go to the kitchen. I saw his girlfriend walk through and go to the kitchen. And then I saw this other guy. He stayed there. He's just stayed at the doorway, and he didn't leave the passage. And he was leaning up against the frame of the doorway, and he was looking directly at me at the end of, because I've got my head off the pillow and I'm looking at him and he's looking at me. And I said I could describe him perfectly. I knew he was about 16. He kind of had a bulky kind of shape about him, pretty solid young man. He had curly hair. It was kind of had a reddish tinge to it, a little bit of brown, light brown, reddish in his hair. And he was just looking at me, and I was just looking at him. And I could hear the kids in the kitchen. They were getting themselves a glass of water. So my son came back through the doorway and walked straight past this guy. My son went back down the passage. His girlfriend followed down the passage. And that's when I saw this guy that was standing on the doorway like that. He went from there to the bedroom. It was like in the blink of an eye, he went like that. And that's when I realized, oh, he's not real. He is a spirit energy. He was showing myself in such a solid form, I actually thought he was real. So then he just sort of disappeared into the doorway and followed them into the bedroom. So the very next morning at breakfast time, I thought, I wonder if I'd tell the kids about this or not. So I decided I would tell them. And so I explained that I saw them both get up in the middle of the night to get water. And I also saw this other guy following them down the passage, and he waited and then he followed them back into the bedroom. And I described what he looked like. And my son's girlfriend said, hang on a sec. And she went and got her wallet and came back with this little photo. And she said, was it him? And I said, that's him. And I had described him perfectly. She said, I thought you sounded like you described him. That was Adam. And Adam died at the age of 16 in a car accident. And he was her boyfriend at the time, or it's like a very close friend of hers at the time. So Adam had come to just keep an eye on her, watch what she was up to, stayed connected to her energy, and Adam found it very easy to show himself to me in a very solid type setting. Sometimes they appear very airy, like you can see through them, but he showed up in a very solid form. So definitely showed his presence on that particular occasion. So just wanted to share that one with you. And over the course of the next few weeks, I hope to be sharing lots of little stories with you about times that spirits have showed up. So have a lovely day.